Lagos State Arrested. It's funding. Elections are coming. Who will man the purse? I was speaking with Obasanjo one time and he told me, he said, he listed some things. I said, those are the things that are necessary to find the chat. Should I find the chat?
Find the chat. That will be interesting.
I'm just going to read the chat. He said, so no, for him, it was like he thought I was going to go into politics. So he was very happy when I was talking with him. He said, Ali, I'm happy that you are now.
I don't know what kind of witchcraft you practice, because I was going to ask you
about the relationship with him.
No, not just about him. You said he thought you were going to go into politics. I was going to ask you why.
Why I did not. Okay, so no, I'll get to it. So he says, He says, Ali, I'm going to read that. Ali, I'm happy you are catching on with politics, but you still have a lot to learn. And I said, like what, sir? He said, like how you get governors and presidents elected. So you need 7 governors to win an election. Lagos, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Kano, Kaduna, and the CBN governor.
To win at federal level, a presidential
election. You need 7 governors. 1, Lagos. 2, Bayelsa. 3, Delta. 4, Rivers. 5, Kano. 6, Kaduna. 7, the CBN governor.
So you just, without, even if you are a political novice,
you know what all this means.
Understand the permutation.
Exactly. And so when I said, but Kano and Kaduna don't have much. He said, that's for numbers.
For numbers. True. For numbers.
He said, and what is money? That's numbers too. All right. He goes to say, you need 44 of the most popular senatorial districts. He said, you need to have awarded 10 contracts, and 15% of that contract can give you marginal impact at the polls. And you must award these contracts in your first year of assumption of office.
Whoa.
Because if you don't do that, then you can't ask the people for anything. Because when you give them at the first year of your getting into office, when it's time for elections, you just tell them, do you want to continue this contract or... they know what to do. He said, you must name your CGN, you must name your IGP, you must name your Controller General Customs, you must name the head of the NNPC, you must name your CBN governor. And if you want to get into the duty, you must suspend pending cases of corrupt past governors who are loaded. Don't forget that those guys have chests.
War
chests that's just sitting down waiting for who they want to align with. No matter how much EFCC milks from them, they still have plenty. These are people who were sitting on a monthly federal allocation. Don't forget that sometimes when your federal allocation, like some states will mention, when they get their federal allocation, they don't touch it. They actually add to it because their state internally generated revenue is higher than what the federal gives to them. So if federal government gives them 3 naira, they can add 4 naira to it and spend 7. So when they leave office, EFCC can't come look for them because they added money to what federal government gave them. But you see that internally generated revenue, that is their sweat, as it's called. It's their money. They generated it themselves. They can determine anything they want to do with it. Lagos State internal generated revenue is higher than what federal government gives them.
So Obasanjo just seized it for like forever.
They called this bluff.
Nobody cared.
They called this bluff. That's what we used to pay salaries. Just, And then it says, yes, this is the meaty part of it. Say, get US or China support. Because of their businesses in your country, they would support whoever you heard the fallout from the Senate in this thing that said how they helped Buhari to get into office and remove Jonathan. National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Market Women,
NURTW.
Unsettled the organized labor.
Settle or unsettle?
Unsettle. Now, organized labor is where you then have people who protest, we are not this, we are this, and we are supporting that, we don't like this, all of that.
Offline user, you said you can't be, it's still good, you can't believe. Welcome to reality. You don't understand how this life really work, right? um, that means you don't understand how this life works. Something is wrong here. In a minute. So when you say you can't believe, it shows that you don't understand how the world really works. You still believe. You strike me like somebody who belongs to this group of people who wants to go to heaven. I mean, by so doing, you believe that everything is divine. That's how reality or that's how the game works. You'll be saying, these are human beings you're talking about, like me and you. But the difference between me and you to them is that they are closer to power. So they are closer to the heat, right? So they know what they are feeling. So it's a dog eat dog. We live in the jungle. So in other words, all this shit I see happening, the killings and whatever, it's all part of the government power scheme. Welcome to real life.
It's one of Get 10 of the richest Nigerians on your side. And we know the usual suspects. Infiltrate opposition parties and let them decamp before election. So you have your party. I want to infiltrate the party. I'll send my people to leave my own party and join your own party before the elections. So when the time of elections comes, they will then disrupt the whole thing. They probably will be the ones they put in charge of electioneering campaign. You won't know that the reason they decamp from that side was to make sure that your own campaign doesn't succeed. So when you are planning and saying, no, this is what we'll do this, they inform those people that this is what they plan to do. So by the time...
And later on, you will hear they are going back to their old party.
Exactly. then you know, somebody did it when he said, oh, he was supposed to be... I think Ashiwaju's campaign guy. Then he left to go and support the guy from Kano. You know, sometimes when these people say some things, you know, you have to respect this. Infiltrate opposition parties and let them decamp before them. Buy delegates 1 year before your congresses. 1 year before the congresses, buy them. So I asked, how do you buy congresses? It's okay, so this is what you do. You know who and who will be selected as delegates. You can permutate and say, this man will be delegates in another 4 years. You give 2 of his daughters jobs in a bank. You give this other person's wife a shop in so and so place. This other person wants to go to Hajj, they go to Hajj. This one wants to do something. When the time for election comes and you say, this is the person I'm supporting, because of those people that you have given, they won't mess up. While some people are trying to raise money to give dollars to some people, you already have bought their loyalty since. Have a hand in appointing all party chairmen, all parties chairmen, all parties. So it's not. So when you hear that 2 people are gunning for an office, and you are not in the party, you call the other parties running against you and say, "You want to be chairman? We'll fund you." Right. Secure INEC and state rec, blogs and social media, religious leaders, royal fathers, appointment of board of chairmen and DGs. It says, refer to number 2. Get 4 constitutional lawyers on retainership.
Let's move to West Africa. And at least 8 people were killed when a passenger bus detonated a landmine on the road in Nigeria's northeastern Borno State. Borno State Governor confirmed that 7 people who were injured in the attack are currently admitted to the intensive care unit. 14 others sustained minor injuries. Offering his condolences, the governor said the state government will fully cover all medical expenses to the victims.
For the last 1 year or so, we have not witnessed IED explosion between Maiduguri and Boa Road. But unfortunately, the road was closed for about 1 month. And I believe this is one of the reasons why the insurgents have decided to come and plant IEDs because of lack of vehicular movement along the road.
In response to the attack, the governor has urged security agencies to intensify efforts to combat insurgency-related threats. He also directed the authorities to implement stronger measures to protect key transportation routes and civilian infrastructure. Over the years, landmines have been a serious threat in northeast Nigeria. The group Boko Haram has a history of using landmines and improvised explosive devices to target civilians and security forces. Often planted along roads, these devices have caused significant harm in the past. For all the latest news, download the WeOn app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
A couple of months ago, it was back and forth between the NSA led by Nuhur Badu and Niger or Niger led by their president, who alleged that their France military presence in this same northeast Borno state. The president of Niger accused um, the Nigerian government of supporting French France, that they now have military base in Borno State. No, Badu came out and said a lie that they are not military base but French military presence. This was a couple of months ago. Couple of weeks or days ago, the governor of Borno State, Zulum, alleged that or made it clear that the Boko Haram are on their way back. Zulum, the governor of Borno State, said last week that Boko Haram are on their way back. Today, as I speak, Boko Haram have carried out an attack on civilians in planting RMD, whatever they call those explosive that you plant on ground. That's what they did, and 8 people were executed. That's not the most interesting part for me. The most interesting part for me here is the media. The Nigerian media went silent. Even as we speak, you can hardly find Nigerian media that carry the news. But rather, the Nigerian media as we speak is buzzing with quote unquote FBI invasion releasing Bola Tinubu drugs findings, which is the most foolish thing. But I understand part of the whole fooling the people. But on the other hand, outside the country, all the international media are facing on what is happening in Borno State as we speak. Isn't that incredible? If you want to know about what goes on in Nigeria, listen to foreign media. If you want to go on about what to know what about what is going on in our foreign, listen to Nigeria media. Oh my God. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me go spread myself where the sun